Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study that's fresh and delicious, artisanally made, and organic, responsibly handled, locally sourced, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. This is Daily Dose Radio. I'll never forget years ago when I first started Daily Dose Radio. It was in 2013 or 2014. I'll never forget hearing an advertisement for a sandwich, and the advertiser was saying it's artisanally made. And I thought, well, if a sandwich can be artisanally made, so can a Bible study. So I just started using that as my moniker, or part of the intro to my podcast, artisanal Bible study, right here just for you. So today we're looking at Psalm 22, verses 13 and 14. So if you have your Bible, why don't you open up to that passage? Yesterday we continued really this whole, idea that this whole psalm is a report. It's a news item. The reporter standing in the parking lot telling you exactly what just happened, except it's David, inspired by the Spirit of God, reporting what's going to happen 1,000 years later from where he is writing the psalm. It's a marvel. This is true prophecy. And so David said yesterday, he quotes the prayer there that he makes. He talks about the bulls. We looked at Luke chapter 22. We're going to look at Luke 22 again today. And now look at verses 13 and 14. Let me get my Bible open here. 13 and 14. They gaped upon me with their mouths, as a ravening and a roaring lion. I am poured out like water. All my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. Okay. 13 and 14, we're still in the passion here. They gaped upon me with their mouths. Well, the gaping was done, the whole record, I won't be able to read all of it, but in Luke, we have the gaping happening there at the end of chapter 22 as the Sanhedrin gathers and they ask him questions. And then they take him to Pilate, and Pilate asks him questions. And then if you go into the Gospel of John, the interview with Pilate is a little more detailed, and you see all that Pilate asked him about. Are you the king of the Jews? Pilate wanted to know. These men want to know if Jesus is the Christ. And so if you look here in Luke chapter 22, let's see, in verse 66, and as soon as it was day, the elders of the people and the chief priests and the scribes came together and led him into their council, saying, Art thou the Christ? Tell us. And he said to them, If I tell you, you will not believe. And then it just continues, this interview continues, and Jesus tells them about seeing the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the power and glory and so forth, and they lose their minds. And they ask him again, are you the Son of God? And he says, yeah, I'm the Son of God. And then they absolutely lose their minds, and then they lead him off to Pilate. So the strong bulls and the opening of the mouths, the lions here, tear and roar. I think lions refers to these men because they're the leaders of the people. And they tear and they roar. And then it says, I'm poured out like water. They have separated all my bones. Here's the crucifixion. This is one of the effects of crucifixion, is that it dislocates all the major joints in the body. And so all the bones are separated. The heart is like wax, it says here in Psalm 22. The heart is like wax. It's melted in the midst of his bowels. And remember in John 19, in verse 34, when the soldier pierces the side and out comes water and blood. And so the heart just explodes because of the stress that it's under. Jesus and his sufferings are it's a good thing that there's a shroud over the passion in some ways. Now, tomorrow we're going to look at verses 15 and 16, and there's more here. More here about the crucifixion. So I hope that you'll join me then as we look at the crucifixion through the eyes of David, who is looking through the eyes of Christ on the cross, here on Daily Dose Radio.